Welcome to the Unstoppable Profit Podcast. This podcast will give independent insurance agents all of the tools to grow your business and live life on your terms. Wherever you are today, if you're starting with nothing or well on your way to the success you desire, with the right people, processes, and promotions in place, you will be unstoppable. And now I'd like to introduce your host, Mike Stromsoe.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of the Unstoppable Profit Podcast. I've got a longtime friend and colleague on the podcast today, and we ran into each other recently. And I told Torey, I said, we need to get up to date. So I'm grateful and thankful that Torey has joined me for the podcast today. Torey from ClientCircle. Hey, how's it going?
Dude, doing great. Thanks for having me, man. It was good to run into you, and I'm glad we found some time to chat. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I can't wait to get up to date on the latest on your company and what you're doing for agents. And part of the reason that I came over to, say hey and everything is because I've heard a lot of positive things.
Great. That's
about
good.
what you guys are doing. So when I hear that from our members and other people in the industry, I definitely always want to learn more. So let's not only learn more, but let's share it with everybody out there to help them better. But before we go there, share with everybody, just in case they haven't heard of Torey and Rocket Referrals and ClientCircle.
Yeah.
Who are you and what's your history in the industry? And so they can get to know you.
I love building Lego. You can see the Batmobile back here, right? It's something that I have always loved doing, but the reason is because that's just how my mind works. If you could look inside of my brain, it would be like a bunch of floating bricks and dotted lines and stars and all this kind of stuff. And I love to pull all of that together and build, unique and different things. And I think I've been like this ever since I was a kid, building Legos and that kind of stuff. And, what was it? It's almost been 10 years, man. It's going to be in, July of this year that Rocket Referrals and ClientCircle has been around for 10 years. It's a lot. So 10 years ago, I was talking with my brother Carl, and he was in the army at the time in Afghanistan. And I have calls with him, when he got back, from whatever he was doing that day. And he wanted to connect with family and kind of learn things. And, at the time we both were he was in the army, and he's like, I just couldn't, he didn't feel like he could enact big change. Of course, like it's the largest organization in the world, right? And he could make a difference, but not a big difference. And he wanted to make a big difference. And I was working as a CIO for a cloud computing company, and I wanted to also make a difference and build something new and different. So we said, hey, let's start our own thing. And so we kind of put our brains together, and it's been 10 years ever since then. And a lot of cool things have happened in this. The industry is so much different now than it was 10 years ago. And it's been cool to kind of go along with that ride and kind of be there. And I remember we went to some of our first conferences, and nobody knew anything about us. It was just me and Carl, and we'd bring our little pop-ups, and we'd look around the room and we say, hey, we want to be like those people. We want to get up there. And so it was such a humbling experience for me, and I still feel like that sometimes, but it's humbling experience for me when you have people come to you and say they're hearing positive things, because it feels really good, like we're actually accomplishing our mission, and just doing podcasts and things like this is so much fun for me, because I think of where we came from, and all of the work that we've done is starting to pay off.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. And you guys are based out of where?
Des Moines, Iowa. Yep.
Fantastic. Right in the center of the country, so to speak.
Center. Yeah, everything's 5 hours away from here.
Well, I mean, anything's possible, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the other thing that excites me so much about the opportunity out there for agents and businesses, period. I got a hold of recently the annual Catalytic Tech Report.
Mm-hmm.
It's not every state out there. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but
have.
Unfortunately, and it kind of hurt my heart and made me happy for those higher achievers and those that want to accomplish. The majority of agents aren't using any kind of CRM, but I know you guys have expanded, so I'm going to let you tell more about that in just a couple minutes. But so that's a huge opportunity for people out there.
Big opportunity. Yeah. By the way, shout out to the Calic team that, put that together, because I think you did a really great job on, putting a bunch of data, in a really nice, easy to consume form. But you're right. When I looked at it, I'm like, there's a huge opportunity here. Not just for companies like us, but for agents that are not using these things to grow and to improve and to retain more customers. And, maybe there's a little bit of apprehension around using a tool like that, but I think sometimes you just got to kind of rip the Band-Aid off and give it a shot. And I think you'll be surprised at what you can achieve, if you give those things a try.
I can tell you that the result will be, if you take the steps and follow the lead of those who are experienced, 10 years is a long time, and understand the environment, it will result in millions of reasons why you should do it. I'll just leave that on the table.
Yeah, there you go.
So let's go back for a second. Originally, you were Rocket Referrals. Why'd you change the name of your platform to ClientCircle, and tell us more?
When we first started, we wanted a name that really said what we did. And the whole problem that we found at the time is that agencies have a ton of people that are willing to refer them, but they weren't taking the steps to get them to do it. They weren't doing communication in the right way, or they weren't asking in the right way or at the right time. And so the whole point of Rocket Referrals was an automated solution that helps you generate more referral business. And as like you just said, you're in this for 10 years, you learn a lot, you spend a lot of time with agencies, you find new and opportunities that you can help them grow their business. And that's what we've continued to do, is enhance, build more things on top of the platform. And eventually, while referrals, generating referrals is still a piece of what we do, and we're really good at it, it's only a small chunk of what we do now, right? So we had to have a name that's more reflective of the full experience. And that's kind of where we came up with ClientCircle, because it's everything, the whole circle around a client, and we want to integrate really well with your management system, right? We want to communicate then with the client from, the time that they visit your website to the time you're winning them back. And then also all of their friends and family. So we really want to be a comprehensive communication platform for the entire experience. And so we said, we can't be that called Rocket Referrals, right? We need to have something new and different. So that's why we're now ClientCircle. And I love the new name. It took me a while, honestly, to get it, but it stuck. It's the one thing that really stuck. And I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I love the name too. I mean, that's where we want people to be. You want people to be in our circles.
In your circle. There you go. There's so many things, right? Like full circle, in your circle, like all the stuff. So,
yeah. I mean, my marketing mind, just when I hear things, it's just like, I'm thinking of all the ways that I can put it out there to the world and get them to engage. So
yeah. Cool.
Anyway, I forgot about this earlier, but I love to see the Legos behind you. It made me think of my 11-year-old grandson, Jameson, who gave him he loves Legos. And he got a Lego set for his birthday, and he sent me a picture, and a short time after that, hey, got it done.
They're fast.
And then our other grandson, Elijah, he's also big into Legos. They put together cities and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we're off track here. Good. Congratulations. Now ClientCircle, formerly Rocket Referrals, same company, same leadership.
Same company. That's one of the things that we say buy Rocket Referrals in there for now. Eventually we'll drop that, but it's one of the things we want people to know is that we weren't acquired by somebody, same exact team, different name. And that's one core thing about us, is that we're bootstrap company. So Carla and I are the only owners of the company, and we're the main decision makers. And that means that really the decision makers are our clients. The people that are paying us are the people that we're building the system for. And this is a big differentiator between us and other companies, I think.
I love that. I mean, you're American made, so to speak.
Exactly.
Your brother, one of our heroes, who put himself out there to defend our freedom. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
And very, very
Thank you for saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, anyway. So you
I can
recently
share a quick story. I didn't mean to interrupt. I can share a quick story. I
Go ahead. Yeah,
know this
no.
is not in the questions, but I want to share this story because when Carl was in Afghanistan, this is one of the times that I learned what's really important in life.
Uh-huh.
My daughter she was probably 6 at the time, and she's brushing her teeth. She didn't want to brush her teeth, and she's crying about her toothbrush, and I'm on the phone with my brother Carl, who's telling me a story about how he was out on a mission and a mortar had hit the barracks that he was in. And had that mission been at a different time and he was actually in the barracks, he wouldn't be here. There's a good chance that he just wouldn't be there. And he's telling me that story, and my daughter's crying about the toothbrush, and I snapped, and I'm like, Taylor, why do you care about this right now? Your brother's over, or your uncle's, here in Afghanistan, and like some things are just more important. And it's one of those like kind of defining moments where I kind of really remember, realize what's important in life. But I still kind of feel bad for snapping at my daughter about the toothbrush, So, but at the time when we were building, Rocket Referrals, and it was something that not only were we excited to build, but Carl was excited to have when he came back,
Right.
a purpose to kind of do when he came back. And so, sorry to interrupt. I just had to share that story because you were kind of talking about that, and I'm really proud of Carl and what he accomplished over there as well. But that moments like that also define the type of company that we're going to build, because people are important to us. And it's defined because we went through things like that,
Right. No, thank you. We have multiples in our family as well who have served. So it's
Great.
near and dear to
Thank
our
you.
hearts as well, and all Americans out there. So thank you for that. Love that. All right. So you recently added a couple of features that I want to dig into and learn more about: journeys and websites.
Yeah.
How can they specifically benefit anybody that partners with ClientCircle to reach more people and get them into the circle, so to speak?
Yeah, man. So one of the things that we learned as we're building, ClientCircle is all of the automations and everything that we're building are great, but you couldn't really see where someone was along their journey, right? So if you have a client who's been with you for certain, period of time, you might want to design a journey, that they're going to take from start to finish, and then also loops in there, and you want to be able to visualize that. And that's why we call it journeys, because we want to build profiles of customers and then say, hey, in my first year as a customer, this is kind of what I want it to look like, and maybe my second year, this is what I want it to look like, and what I want my renewal process to look like. And so you define that path, and then you put people into it and let them flow. And we've had this vision of being able to see what's the overall journey that someone goes on as they become a customer, or they're a prospect, or they're a win back. And that's why we call it journeys and what it's all about. And then we thought, well, with websites, one of the things that I've seen with websites out there is they were made to be a website, and to look pretty and to have good SEO and things, and that's all very important. But we took a different approach to that as well. We thought we want to start with collecting information and connecting it into our journey product, and then we obviously make it look pretty and have all the cool SEO tips and tricks and all that stuff too. So the idea was, in the spirit of ClientCircle, is thinking, if we were going to do this as a holistic sort of included package where it's together and not necessarily two separate things, what would it look like? And so that's how we built websites from the ground up to work with our journeys product and everything else in ClientCircle, rather than having it be something that we integrate with. So it was a lot of fun to build it, because we built some really cool different things that we haven't seen before.
Awesome. So just to give me a 10,000 foot level picture for an agent out there who's watching or listening to this, they have an agency management system.
Yep.
Let's say hypothetically they partner with ClientCircle that integrates. They they have two-way integration with their agency management system. And obviously it depends on the agency management system as to how that works. But anyway, let's say it does.
Yeah.
So they've got their agency management system, their CRM with two-way integration. They've got their website, and they've got their client journey or their prospect journey dialed in because it's within ClientCircle. And then their website comes along and supports everything with their online presence, and it's kind of all in one place talking with each other. Is that
all in one place? Yeah. So for example, you have a prospect comes out to your website, they fill out a form that's going to automatically go in and start a journey. Like, let's use Hawksoft as an example. If you're using Hawksoft, we have a cool tool called Sidecar. Sidecar is going to have a little link up there that says, hey, you have a new prospect, hit download, and then it imports it into Hawksoft for you. So then you can have them in there so that eventually when the policy is sold and downloaded, it matches it up and everything just sort of works. So, you know, and then we're starting along the time, we're starting a communication journey for that person to actually sell that policy. So my goal, man, is to automate all of this stuff. And I think that we're going to get there sooner rather than later. And not just, hey, this is the path that I'm sending everybody through, using some, you know, things that we're building into what we call Circle AI. It's going to be able to modify what someone gets and when, you know, they're going to get those communications and what it even says. You know, so our goal is full hands off, like website form to sold policy, right? Like that's my goal. And I think it's possible someday.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of you know, our existence. Anything is possible, but you know, it starts with our mindset. So that's why, you know, educating people, and thank you, by the way, for sharing a little bit about what you guys are doing. Excited for the future. So you know, it brought me, I just wrote down a comment that I got from one of our member agents who was actually at the same conference that I recently saw you at. Yeah. And he said one of his takeaways from the conference was, and I repeated this multiple times because I love that he saw this from a vision standpoint. What can be automated must be automated. Not to say the human existence will go away, because it never will. But, you know, I also, another industry partner who is very influential, very smart, very savvy, not in your realm, also told me, Mike, you know, with the advent of AI and everything else, and I want to jump into that in just a minute, 10 years from now, with data and AI and everything else that's going on, and, you know, if yours becomes reality, what's the one thing we're going to have 10 years from now that they can never take away from us? Want to guess what it is?
Our personal connections with people.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. The word was relationship, but I think the same thing. I mean, we will always have that.
Yeah. And to your point, what you're saying is like what can be automated should be automated. When you automate those things, you can have more time to spend on what you're talking about. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. Where some people are, you know, a little nervous about AI and what it's going to bring to the table, I think that you got to think of it as a tool that you can use to free yourself up to be able to do the things that you add value on that it cannot do. And that's the key, you know, that we're trying to do, is to use it as a way to enhance relationships and things and not replace them. So
right. I love that. Not enhance relationships.
Or
excuse me, not replace relationships.
Yeah, right.
Enhance them.
Enhance. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. I love that. Cool. So I just wrote down also, and look, with all the love of my heart, I'll just drop this out there. You know, people might be nervous, but I think to an extent, part of it's the lack of education about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll use that as a great segue. AI is a hot topic, and I know you're probably got your finger on that pulse, and it's important, just like it is across all industries right now. So have you built AI into your platform? What's your thoughts about the future of that? How does it work? And tell us more.
So it's interesting because 10 years ago, when we built the product, you were using AI, right? So our referral algorithm is essentially an AI. that's looking at data to find people that are likely to recommend. And the thing is, we didn't say it. We didn't talk about it then because it wasn't well known, right? It
Right.
wasn't like I could get on this and, people would think maybe it's cool, but it wouldn't quite click. And now I think it's clicking. And that's why we branded our AI as Circle AI, which, man, that circle thing just keeps working, right? So we branded what we were doing as Circle AI. And then we've added on extra tools that are available now, like using OpenAI and combining it with what we have to create something unique and different. And now, because of ChatGPT and OpenAI, we can have these discussions and talk about it and be really excited about it and also nervous about it and what it's going to do. So I love these kind of talks.
Yeah.
So.
And I love being nervous a little bit because it kind of keeps us on the cutting edge, and we've got to continue to push forward and learn more. Yeah. And in my study of AI and ChatGPT and all that, there's a guy out in California. His name is Peter Diamandis, who's in the Silicon Valley, pretty successful in a lot of areas. I recently heard him say 10 years from now, there's going to be two kinds of companies. Companies that have embraced AI and are using it, and companies that have gone out of business.
Yeah, right. It's true.
So, that's a big statement, but, we've got to embrace what's going on around us, educate ourselves, learn more about it. But that's another reason in my mind it's so important to have a partner who is doing that. And because we should all be doing the things that only we can do, and then hand off the rest to other partners who take care of it so we can, get to our goals and everything else. I've got a big question that you don't know about, but it's an easy one. So back in the early days of Rocket Referrals, you had a net promoter score. Is that still in play?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Net promoter score is huge. And that's where we were using AI, actually, because net promoter score is a really good way to learn for data. It's a really good data point. And also all of the comments that people put in there, we use our AI to classify them into categories. So we can say, hey, you don't respond to people fast enough, or they're happy with price, or they're not happy with this carrier or that carrier. And so that's one of the first things that our AI really started to kind of crunch the information on. So
awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I know that was a big feature, an important feature in our agency. That was a big attraction point as well. And I know a lot of people have used that in a great way. And nowadays there's analytics and everything on the back end. In fact, I was talking to another industry partner, might've been just this week, who was saying that there's technology coming that can tell you if one of your customers is on somebody else's website looking for insurance.
Oh, interesting. I wonder how that's working. Yeah.
Well, there's a large captive carrier, without naming names. The largest captive carrier out there has been doing it for a couple of years. So, but it's amazing what's coming before us and the changes. So speaking of the next, steps and what's before us. So you guys have done great stuff. You built the circle, you've got the back end NPS and everything else that you built so far, and you're building it into systems to help agents automate 100% of what can be automated so they can focus on relationships. What's next for ClientCircle? What do you see in the next 1 to 3 years?
I think that our investment in AI is just going to continue to grow, and really think about how it can become a tool that helps other people shine. One of our core beliefs as a company is that everybody has greatness in them, and we want to build tools that help bring out that greatness. And we think that the people who use AI effectively and the tools that we want to build are for the best people, the people that are great, and we're going to help them shine. And I think that means let the computer do its work, do its thing that it can do. But when it comes to picking up the phone and talking with people, that's something that you should probably continue to do, even though there's going to be AI like voices. they're going to be a ways before you can actually have a true and AI is not going to be able to have this conversation, right? It's not going to, you know, there's a soul there that doesn't go away. And so we're going to help you use that more effectively, you know, than anything. So
that's
real for what it can do.
Yeah, that's a really interesting comment. The thought that just came to my mind is, will ChatGPT, as an example, ever be able to truly measure what somebody cares about if that person, like my wife, doesn't spend a lot of time online?
Maybe not. I
don't
think
know.
that it's going to make a guess based upon what it knows. Yeah, or not even what it knows, but what it's seen before.
Right.
It's one of the things I was talking with somebody here is that AIs don't really, you know, have knowledge. They just predict, you know, things.
Right.
These large language models, anyway, they're literally predicting the next word that they think it thinks should be there based upon the words that were input into the prompt. So it's not like it knows the answer to the question. It's just predicting every word at a certain time, which is really interesting. So,
well, I've got a ton of study coming up on all of this because I'm invested in myself and I have the study material. I just haven't set aside the time. That's coming in the next couple of weeks. So
good.
With that being said, it's about the predictability of the model based on how you design it, right? It's kind of like,
yes.
I remember the day. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, yeah, the input.
Yeah.
The input is what you know that it trains on to figure out what it's going to predict. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a website guy. I mean, I remember, I'll date myself here, about 20 years ago, maybe a little bit more, some of our early websites in the industry as an insurance agency, we were able to write some of the back end code. And I remember sitting there at night, you know, working on the code and, you know, the keywords and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm sure glad I don't do this for a living because, I mean, I was a little bored out of my mind, but I knew how important it was, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's kind of the same thing there. You know, we've got to set it up in a manner to get the results that we're looking for. So
yeah. So if the AI is trained on things that are not great code, I'm not saying that you didn't write great code. I'm sure you really did, but there are, let's say it's Stack Overflow.
Right.
If people are not familiar with Stack Overflow, it's a place where programmers go to ask questions and get answers. You know, they would use AI to be trained on Stack Overflow. The best answer you're going to get is only equivalent to the best answer that was already out there, you know, before. So it's difficult for AI to create something new and unique without new and unique input, which you can somehow get to that with different prompts and things. But for the most part, you're going to get what's already been gotten, but just faster.
Right. I love this conversation. But anyway, by the way, what I did learn from my coding days, after probably a month or two, I decided I don't want any more of this. I made sure I went out and found somebody to take care of that so I could get back to what I'm doing.
There you go.
Which, by the way, I recently had a conversation with somebody about data, right? So data's out there, and there's so much data out there that today's modern consumer, as an example, from the insurance agency owner or agent perspective, they don't need us until they need us. They can go find all this stuff out and they'll be able to chat GPT. They'll be able to find that too. But when they contact us, they need us because they can't find what they're looking for and they need us, right?
They don't know the questions to ask.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
exactly.
So there will always be a need. Don't let it get into your head that there won't, because there will. Right. Because insurance is a mystery.
Yep. Exactly. I think that there will always be the need. And, you know, one of the things that we have found in all of the, you know, number crunching of the NPS and the detractor comments, the people who are the most unhappy with their agents are the people that don't feel like they're well connected to the agent, right? The people that are the happiest feel like they're connected the most and get the best communication. So it's all about communication and feeling connected. That really makes the long-term more profitable, highest retention clients. So You're not going to feel better connected by letting a robot do all of the work for you.
Right.
But you will be better connected if you let the robot say, hey, I think you should call these people because they're in need of it right now. And then actually picking up the phone and calling them.
Right, right. A comment came up at an event that I was at last week, and I may have heard it before, but it hit me, and now it's stuck here. Email communication and other automation, that communication is for information. But communication is done via phone or via Zoom or via face-to-face conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
True communication. So
yes.
This is awesome stuff. So I'm excited about the journey that you guys are on and what you bring to the marketplace. If somebody's watching or listening to this podcast and they want to learn more, how can they find out more about what you guys are doing in your platform and everything else?
ClientCircle.com, and then do a demo with our team. I think you're going to find our teams very kind. They're not pushy. We really want to understand your company and what's important to you, what your goals are, and to see if our solution's one that can help. We're not perfect for everybody. We don't want to be, and that's the goal of that conversation, is to figure out, are we going to be a good fit or not? So just talk with one of our team, and that's also true that, to the point that we care about your business. We don't have long-term contracts and setup fees and things. Use it if it's working, great. If it's not, that's okay. So just give it a shot, basically. And to what we were saying earlier about that survey, is like, man, a lot of people could use this. They don't quite understand yet the power of it until they get in and actually turn it on and start using it. And I think you'll see the results though pretty quickly.
I love that thought process of the client journey. I mean, from suspect to prospect to client to advocate to raving fan and all of that. So you guys have designed a platform, an automation platform that oversees and helps agents manage that and automates as much as possible and brings the website to play. So
full circle.
I may just need to do a demo myself so I'm up to date completely. And I know I've huddled with your team on a couple of times, but we're always, boom, 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 boom. And don't have time to focus on it. So
we should.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. So once I get back, I will reach out and we'll go from there. But Torey, I could go on for hours about the conversation about technology and all that, because I love the environment. But I know you've got a lot to do, and so do I. So with that being said, thank you. Anything else to add?
No, man, I really appreciate what you're doing to, bring content like this out to people. I know it's a lot of work for you to put this stuff together, so I appreciate you. I appreciate all the listeners out there, what you're, listening and learning and bringing to the industry. So thank you very, very much for having me. And hopefully whoever's listening, I get a chance to talk with you at one of the shows.
Yeah, fantastic. And I'll give credit where credit's due. The unstoppable Andrea Wyatt is the rock behind it all. So I will get this production to her, and she just kind of takes care of the rest, just like I'm sure you have people that support you as well. So anyway, one last question for you, and it's an easy one, because I learned years ago, instead of trying to pronounce somebody's last name when you don't truly know, just say, how do you pronounce your last name?
Maerz.
Maerz. Okay.
Yep, you got it.
Very good. Torey and Carl Maerz from ClientCircle. Thank you, Torey, for being on the podcast. Please extend our gratitude and thanks to Carl as well. And I look forward to catching up with you guys again sometime soon.
Absolutely. See y'all.
No, thank you for all you're doing for agents everywhere. Super grateful. And let's just keep growing. And I 100% believe anything's possible. So let's make it happen. Hey, everybody, thank you. If this is your first time on the podcast, welcome. My name is Mike Stromsoe. I'm widely recognized as a leading author, speaker, and coach for the independent insurance agency industry. You can learn more about myself and what we do to help agents at unstoppableprofitproducer.com. If you're interested in one of our virtual or live training events, our virtual event portal is uppfaststart.com, and you can learn more about our live events at beunstoppable.bootcamp.com. And thank you, by the way, ClientCircle is a supporter of our boot camps, and you will be there again this year. So looking forward to that.
100%.
All of our events are designed with our best money-making strategies developed over 36 years in an independent insurance agency to help you grow your business, create wealth, and have more freedom so you can live life on your own terms. And if you got great value out of today's podcast, please share the link with somebody that you know and care about so they too can learn everything they need to do to create a great insurance agency business. Just share with them unstoppableprofitpodcast.com and make sure they go up to the top and click subscribe so that they don't miss one episode. And it only takes one great idea, right, Torey?
That's right.
One great idea can change everything. So please share that. And if you've got comments, please put your comments in the comments below so we can learn how to better help you share your big takeaway from this podcast or anything you weren't clear about or anything else. Please share it in the comments below and we'll be sure to grab that and help you in any way possible. And our podcast is out there on all the channels on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, our YouTube channel, and now Amazon has picked up on it as well. So we're out there. Just search Unstoppable Profit Producer or Unstoppable Profit Podcast. We just want to be a resource for you. Torey, thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right, everybody. Until the next podcast, get out there, make a difference, be unstoppable, and leave no regrets. And remember this, you got this. We believe in you. I'll see you in the next episode.
You love the podcast, but don't know where or how to get started? Come join our next virtual training while seats are still available. Register now at uppfaststart.com. That's uppfaststart.com.